Good evening, calling this meeting to order at 7:01. It's a special budget session of the Middletown Spring Select Board. Board members present are Isaac Yapple, Ted Redfield, Robin Chestnut Tangerman, and Town Treasurer Jenny Telke-Munyak. With no one zooming in yet.
No one's zooming in.
And Carl is out of town. And we were given a list of local properties that are tax exempt under Vermont law.
The email that Patty forwarded to us, that came from Sally, did have the statute on it. I think it was, I don't remember what it was, top of my head, 3840 point something. But anyway, and we probably should just double check that and look it up, but the preliminary version of the warning I sent out, we just added the same verbiage from the last time we had it, and I put those into as part of the warning, so we can vote on it. The town can vote on it.
Yeah, thank you for writing up that.
And no, that was no problem. Just had to update the one we had. And it's much easier now that we put all those different articles into one. So there's only like 2 or 3 of them on there.
On the additions or deletions to agenda, I'd like to just a few minutes if we want or need updates from last meeting. For example, I just want to say that I spoke with Sullivan Powers about that audit.
Oh, good.
They said it's a separate letter that they will send for signatures, a contract,
Okay.
rather than proposal, and that they have it shortly.
Super.
If we're
Thank you.
adding to that from what we talked about last meeting, I did get an email from Frank Parent, and his survey was complete. I can forward that email. It's actually too large of an email, I guess, so he sent a Word document, but we have our surveys in FEMA's hands now.
Good.
And he said that before the shutdown, they were returning those within 2 or 3 weeks. After the shutdown, there might be a large delay, but that was the time frame he would be working on.
But it has been submitted.
And maybe you can understand it more than I can. I like looked through it, and it's legalese up the wazoo, so I don't really know like if it's how it's. But I'm assuming now that it's submitted, all they have to do is either say yes or no to it, I guess, right? Here, I'll send that now.
I wonder if they can approve part of it, but not all of it.
So I'm going to forward this to everyone. In fact, I mean, based on what I was looking at, it looked like they might only be trying to pull a section out, not all of it. So basically like where the house sits, but then quite a bit of where, kind of like where we're doing large dump day.
Yeah.
That looked like all outside. So we have quite a bit more room there to play with to level out ground and then so send this.
Okay, yeah, thank you for doing that. I wanted to mention also an email that I got from her. Which is reminding me that someone in town government needs to have a login.gov account for FEMA and whatever else requires federal content.
We do have one.
We do.
Yeah. because I need it for the W-2s and the social security numbers. But I'm not gonna give it out because it's got my personal information in it, but
Yeah.
if it's not too much correspondence.
Yeah.
I can,
Um,
we can use
okay.
that, I guess,
Or,
yeah.
or,
Or I'd like to maybe see his
Or
email.
check
like what you're
check
talking
with her
about.
and see,
Yeah.
how much correspondence you
Yeah,
get.
what that really means, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause that's probably for grant information back and
Mhm,
forth and
mhm.
whatever.
Um, okay, the other thing is though, I think that, any of you that are on Medicare have a login.gov also.
Yeah,
So that would be the same as, cause that one that I'm using for the town is really mine, so.
right,
right.
I mean, I was wondering if we could have one for the town that isn't a personal account for one person.
I don't think so, because that's what I tried to do,
Okay,
when I set it up for the town,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay,
but it could be asked, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So,
So then it'll just be giving that email out to FEMA and specific contacts, is that what his point was?
yeah, I guess it's for communication with FEMA. So that it's not. So it's not on a personal email, but if it's a personal.
you're right, I know, that's even more
Login.gov,
invasive, I think,
yeah.
right?
Well, I'll look into
Be
that.
investigated, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe you can find it on the IRS website.
I don't wanna go.
Log in through your non-personal.
Yeah.
Trying not to, right?
Um,
Well, I will volunteer to look that up then, if you want,
um,
okay.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Okay, so that brings us back to the budget. And I've been running through it, and have a couple of questions. Um,
Did you get Patty's most recent updated one as well?
I got
On her email. Maybe I could just forward it out to you. But she went through and actually changed which ones are like, which physically where they are and which ones need to be voted on, which ones don't.
I don't think I,
That was, she sent that Monday at 11:46. So yesterday, yeah. If you don't have it handy, I can just forward it.
I don't
Is that
have it
okay?
handy, yeah.
I'll just forward it to you, Robin.
It is so hard to read through.
Paper copy.
Oh. No, this is the email that says you sent the
The wrong one.
the August agenda.
I'll just forward it to you, Robin.
Okay, thank you.
Oh. Where's AI to come in and do all this work for us?
Get all these different versions, like I have. I don't know how many different versions, of it's unapproved, approved and whatever. I can get them dicked up pretty easily. So,
Yeah.
And when I get a version of the spreadsheet, I make a copy and then I delete all the years up to 2023. And that way I can fit it on one page.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And
But then you can't see all that important information.
I know.
Patty's hit all of it for now, so. But maybe you can go through, Robin, and we'll tell you if there's a change, if you have questions, unless you've gotten it already.
I like this master copy where I have to squint like this to.
You're too young for that.
Well, not anymore.
Can't you do like a Zoom?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Okay.
So the first question that I had was, it's line 120305.
305, that's motor vehicles.
Yeah, and just wondering, what is that? Is this something we use? Can we eliminate that line?
It'd be under permit, so we made 300, oh wait. I'm looking.
That's
Copy.
not- Huh.
Motor vehicles, it's never made any money ever.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't think it shows online.
You don't think it does show in it?
It doesn't matter anyway,
Right.
if, you know, you can always add it in, but,
Yeah.
It's
just-
never,
yeah, there's probably a lot you'll be able to delete. Patty never
Is
takes
that,
Oh,
is that, town clerk can register vehicles?
exactly, so maybe we need to leave it in,
Yeah.
yeah, if she does, yeah.
instead of going to the
Vehicle,
PNB, you
register.
can do it here.
You can do it here,
Yeah, you're right, Terry,
and I don't know, she might get $2
Okay.
for it or something, I don't
yeah.
know, but you can do them
But we
here.
never got it, but because we might.
I'd put that under your license, but myself. Okay, so, good, just, wondering.
Good question.
Yeah, good
What
question.
it's for.
That's what it's supposed.
Then I got to 130105 listers
Yes,
salaries,
yep,
and I was trying to remember a discussion. $2,600 they requested
Yeah.
for the, because I don't see that reflected in here. And was that out of?
so that came, what happened with that, what Jenny and Sally was saying is that most of that money is gonna come out of this budget year that we're currently in,
Oh.
not next budget year that we're budgeting for.
Mhm.
But that 1,000 increase is that part that would be next year.
So the total part is 2,600. The
Yeah,
total
the total
cost, so
Right.
Yeah,
we're thinking 1,600 this year, 1,000.
yeah, and the 1,600 this year will just come from other, like it, we never budgeted for it, but it's.
Yeah,
gonna come
but
out of
it'll,
this.
yeah.
Somewhere, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, And then Jenny, there's a bump for assistant treasurer.
Yeah, I would like to hire an active assistant treasurer. So that I can train them, so that I can be more comfortable, so train them to take my place so I can retire.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, so. That year would be probably the start of it, if I can, we can flex on that, I think, let me just see how many.
So that currently, we just bumped them up to about $18
$18,
something an hour.
so where's that?
You can
So it's
be
about-
retired, Jenny.
Oh, there it is, 4,800.
Yeah, it's about 266 hours.
Hours divided by 52, yeah, 5 hours a week.
Is that
So,
like-
yeah, I think so, I could go down to 4 if you want, but, at the same time. Yeah, I can go down.
But we're gonna have to raise it, or you're gonna have to have some help anyway.
Right, and my question was not complaining about the amount, I was wondering why
That's why.
from 1,000.
So right now, I have Kimberly as my backup assistant treasurer. She's official and she can sign checks.
Yeah.
But more, she's just a backup for when I'm out of town.
Right,
And if something happened to me before I got an active assistant treasurer, I've got a great procedure manual. But she doesn't want to continue to be that.
Yeah.
In that role, so I need to find somebody and start.
Yeah.
Paying them.
okay.
But if we have to bump it down a little bit, once we go through the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the two yellow things that we have from there would be payroll taxes, which I guess would be
Right,
after we have that
so,
done.
Payroll taxes.
before we do that, we'll let Robin keep going, because I have a question on the clerical line, and that would go into the taxes as well.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, great. So we went from 1,000 budgeted to 7,500 budgeted to 5,000 budgeted.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, last year, this year that we're in, it was budgeted for a select board assistant.
Mhm.
So I can't remember what the discussion was for fiscal year 27, and I was gonna ask
Mhm.
the select board that was there for that discussion, what that 5,000 is for.
Mhm.
I think I sort of remember what it is, but I want to hear if you guys remember it.
Good question.
Good question. I think, I mean, we don't want to be left without any, as far as I can remember. If I were to justify, it, we don't want to be left with nothing to pay people doing, so like if we basically said to Patty to, if she ends up taking on those roles that would otherwise be a select board assistant, to use this
Mhm,
clerical, line item,
mhm.
but I don't know
Yeah, I
why
believe,
we settled on 5.
I believe that's true, yeah, I think we just plugged a number in there, so as of now, our current plan was we weren't gonna try to look for an
Mhm.
actual select board assistant. And Patty was agreeable to do some of the formal role she's done, like, you know, she'll update
Mhm.
this and whatever. But she didn't want an actual salary, she didn't wanna be double dipping hours when she's already here or get accused of double dipping hours, which, you know, I certainly
Right.
understand that. So in the past, we had just given, back when Laura was still here and doing things for us, which is quite a while ago, but you know, we used to give her
I think it was-
1,600, I think, at one time. And
it
then
was
we-
like 600, then it went up to 1,000.
It went up and then we
Yeah.
lowered it back down because she was doing less and less, but anyway, so I think we just, our thought process was we were just gonna put a fixed amount in there and just give her a stipend.
Okay,
Rather than, you know, try to say so much an hour, and I don't really remember how we
Yeah.
arrived at the $5,000
So-
figure, maybe
Uh-huh.
we just left ourselves some cushion in case we needed to say hire Elizabeth while she's here as
Mhm,
the
mhm.
clerk.
Or I thought I heard that it was to pay somebody if we had a grant. That's what I
Okay.
heard.
Yeah, okay,
And so I was going to say, if that is the case, then that expense, which is a grant expense, should be offset by a grant that we think is coming in.
Grant.
So if you guys decide that's what's gonna happen, so that's one thing. The second thing is, I don't disagree with a stipend for the town clerk, but I also think there needs to be a stipend for the town treasurer, because the town treasurer is doing the board orders. The board orders is something that Laura used to do, and when we got computerized, it was just smoother. We got computerized and Laura was waning, smoother for the town treasurer to do. Typically, specifically, it's a select board responsibility. So if that is going to be, if that is a town treasurer assistance to the select board, that should be compensated. As well as there are a list of things that the town treasurer does, like Patty does, that help out the select board with reports. And now that the library is expanding, there has been a lot more responsibility dealing with the library. So, and that includes board orders. So I'm doing payroll for the library now, payroll for their special grant project. I'll be doing payroll for if they hire a new person. And payroll is not just punching the numbers in, it's like making sure everything's right.
Yeah.
And the same thing with invoices and categorizing them, making sure that that is right. That is, I figured it takes me 2.5 hours every 2 weeks to do that. That's not a specific treasurer responsibility. So I would ask that the select board consider increasing the budget for the town treasurer to receive something as well. And I always think hourly is better, but if you believe stipend, that's fine. Stipend is probably better for the town because it caps it. If I kept track of all the extra hours, that, you know, be too much, but just to have the confirmation that both of us are doing things that are above and beyond our roles,
Yeah.
the stipend would be welcome.
That is true. Many, many years ago, back in the mid-80s, I was also clerk of the board. And I used to do the board orders during the meeting, you know, they had a folder of bills and
Yeah.
that's the way we paid bills. I don't know exactly when that changed, probably when, as you say, we got more
Yeah,
computerized.
because then Laura did
And
it,
Laura wasn't
since up
to snuff with doing it.
when I started in 2012, she was doing it.
She was.
And I thought she was getting paid for that too.
Huh.
So,
So just on that note, what if we said, and this is just a crapshoot, I have no idea.
Mhm.
But if we said, or kept it in our pocket or whatever, and you
Mhm.
let us know, but say $1,500 stipend for the treasurer, $1,500 stipend possible for the clerk. And that would leave, say, 1,500 if we had to hire
Out of this five.
out of this, out of that, bucket there.
Mhm. But who would you, hiring for what sort of responsibilities, for select board assistants or grants?
So, for grants, which may or may not be paid by the grant, you know, it might be an expense that come right out of the grant, we don't know.
So here's what we could do, we could, to cover that, there is I have a grant expense item and a grant income item in the town.
Right,
So we can put the expense at $1,500 or whatever you think you'd want to pay somebody to do that. And then if there's a grant that you're thinking of. Are there any grants that you're thinking of? I know it's
Yeah.
far away, but
yeah, I don't really know.
And most of them kind of are highway, which I think are already covered with a lot of other line
Yeah.
items for commissioner to write.
absolutely, that's covered, highways covered. It's town, and recently, we haven't had a lot of grants in my history, but there was that one that Herb was working on, the $11,000 one. And then Patty worked on an election grant, but that was specific to her job, so she
Right.
took care of that.
Right,
So before that, I don't know if we've had small ones or not, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the thing is, who's gonna go after the grants? And are there grants to go after?
Yeah.
That we can, if we put it in the grant line item here for income, you have to be able to talk to it if the townspeople say, well, what kind of grant are you going for?
right,
Right.
so we could, does that sound reasonable, then maybe we lower that
Lower it,
to
right,
3,000,
that's where I'm like heading,
does that work?
yeah.
Which,
I just appreciate the fairness. of-
Yeah, no, absolutely, you do a lot of extra
Mhm.
for us and for the town, and it's appreciated.
And it won't, and it'll make me feel like, okay, you're acknowledging.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it's when you don't get acknowledged that you kind of get resentful. And tend to back off a little bit.
So just another question that, again, way back when we were over there and.
Yeah.
Laura was clerical was essentially help for her.
Correct.
And I know we have an assistant town clerk line, but does Patty have any help that's not? I mean, Meredith and Elizabeth, I think, are both assistant town clerks.
Except Meredith resigned when she became
Auditor.
auditor.
Okay. Just wondering if there's anything that, like that,
I think
that
so.
we're not hiring, but
I
the town
think,
needs.
yeah, but it's a touchy situation, I think, I've heard. Scuttlebutt, in my opinion, if you have an assistant town clerk, they should be able to help you out with the things that you do, right? And be able to sit in when you can't make it that day and keep the town office open.
Yeah.
Right now, Elizabeth is doing land records, and they're gonna slow down or come to an end. But I don't know the details about why Patty is only having her do that when I know that she wants to do more. So. But in theory, yeah, you got an assistant clerk.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that either, but.
But if you have,
you're proposing that something should be in this line item for that,
I'm
to that.
proposing.
No, we haven't.
Well, then why not?
it's what we wonder.
Because I don't know what.
Right.
And so, yeah, yeah, so the same thing would go for the treasurer and the assistant treasurer, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel more
So
comfortable
then,
if instead of reducing it to 3,000, we reduced it to 4.
mhm,
$1,500 stipends, and then there's this sort of emergency reserve
mhm,
of $1,000 if, I don't know, if the select board needs
mhm,
to hire somebody to do something.
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
Either lack of expertise or overwhelmed. And I don't know.
That's a given. So we went. I'm trying to-
and I have some other things that might lower the,
Mhm.
well, as we finish going through this.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're gonna put 4 in that,
Mhm.
okay, and then, oh, Robin, you keep going, if you have, I interrupted your, stream when we were talking about.
Okay, the next one is is 130224, just the tax map updates.
Yeah.
And I did talk to Sally, she said, yes, they definitely want to do it this year. I think when my last memory of it was, there was some question about whether they were gonna do
Yes,
it.
there was a question.
Yeah,
And is
So-
3,000 the number, or is it more than
That I don't know. I
that?
see that it was 3,600.
Yeah,
for
2 years ago.
what number was that? Oh, I.
1302.
Oh, 24, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we thought it was.
We put in 3.
2,000 a year or something, or 1,800 a year, so it was 2 years, so we put 3,600 or something similar.
I had a placeholder was 3,000, but if I put in 3,600.
Well, there again, anyway, with the way the listers, I think there's excess money in there for different things, so 3,000 is probably a decent number. Or, you know, we
Okay.
can-
mhm.
it's probably good enough.
Okay. 3,000.
Okay. Let me. Yeah, then we got into, then. Got into highway. Yeah.
So I have just a couple of things, in town, if we want to, can we just stay on town?
Yeah.
130500 miscellaneous. I went back and looked at what miscellaneous captures.
Yeah.
And it's very, very minimal things, and it has been for years, and really the only consistent thing is Zoom, $150 a year. I think 1,000 is way too much.
Okay.
I would say, maybe 400 or something.
Okay.
Unless, and that might be even a little bit too much, but just to cut that down.
I remember that. When I was on the board before, consistently asking that question, what is?
Miscellaneous, yeah.
I feel like you have to have
Yeah,
one
no,
line item
no.
like that, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to catch up.
Right.
Until you
Yeah.
can make your own its own line item, right? You gotta catch it somewhere.
VLCT dues, this isn't a big change, but I saw documentation for what that will be for.
Yeah.
26, 27, and it's 2325.
2325.
Let's see a little bit.
Right?
And then, let's see.
Planning commission.
130502 planning commission dues.
Yeah.
Saw documentation for that, and that's the same, $794. So I'll save us $200.
Okay.
So right now, I'll give you a number for, it has the number stands now for payroll taxes,
Okay.
and, you can see what the total looks like for the town and see if you're good for it.
Mhm.
So 3.
So what is there like a number percentage increase in mind that we're aiming for? Like what's the goal with this final wiggle
Reasonable.
reasonably?
Yeah, I don't, if we can hold our own, or. I mean, level funded would be nice, or even if it's a little less, but I mean, realistically, if we can stay with a 2.5 to 3%, we're probably doing well.
Okay.
Speaking of percent increases, I'm sorry, Jenny.
Keep going, no, I'm just adding,
Um. And I'm sure this was discussed, but library 130508.
130508 library.
It's
They asked 54,845, right? 54,940.
did you see their,
Yeah, we had a
They have a proposal.
budget request.
Yeah.
Their salary was up.
So, yeah, the
6%
salary-
fairly.
Yeah, and
The
it was
director's salary was up and the assistant
Over
director is
5%.
getting.
Yeah.
She's getting more certifications
but she's
and
getting
her
a
salary. was up
14% increase, and they're adding a program coordinator for $9,400.
Mhm.
The reason for the library director to get an increase is because they're trying to get her, and they've been saying this for years, her salary to the same level as other towns.
Yeah.
Same could be said for treasurer, same could be said for town clerk. It,
And
so,
Mhm.
yeah, selectmen,
Could
the
be said
assistant
for-
director, I get the increase and she's getting certified. 14% seems like a lot. She just got a bump January 1st also.
Mm.
Just. So.
Is there a way,
I support the library, but I also need to tell the select board, if you don't know this, it's up to the select board to decide what the library gets. So even if they give a proposal, you can say, well, the town can't afford $54,000. We can give you $50,000 or whatever.
Right.
Typically,
And then-
we've just accepted what they've given us, but this is.
it's big,
big.
It is big.
and if we were to say then 50, it's on them to then go through and refigure their numbers.
or to raise the money.
Or
Raise money.
fundraising.
Yeah, so you don't have to accept it. I think in the past, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Terry, I think that the select board feeling was, we'll put it in the budget and let the townspeople decide.
But it would have been voted on separately at that point, or?
That's.
But yeah, it's just been
Like, how do you-
budget, so they don't really.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
They don't really get a chance to vote on it individually.
Right.
Right,
And I will say, of course, they came back with the second version and lowered it a little.
Yeah, they lowered.
The
it.
first
Yeah,
version they
because they had done the
presented,
math wrong, yeah.
just coincidentally, was
Yeah.
virtually identical with the $20,000 that we had been setting aside for the reserve fund for the building.
Mhm.
So, and we're not doing that now, so we're
Mhm.
potentially saving that 20,000. But as you can see, this is up 15,000, so.
So they're doing what they should be doing. They're trying to protect their library and the finances.
Right.
And they thought it through in that vein.
So it's just like, if we were to drop it to 50 for say, then we're at, currently as it is, budget at, 107,000, up from 97,000.
In which part, because I have to give you.
So I'm looking at just general expenses.
Yeah. I gotta give you the taxes first, because that's gonna bump it up.
Oh, sure,
I got some of that.
gotcha, that's total general, so that goes all the way up to that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's kind of of course, the whole thing, it's kind of a shocking increase.
I mean, it makes sense.
But it makes sense
Yeah.
because it's a huge project compared to the little tiny library we had, but.
But did the town
But,
vote on the
yeah.
project?
Right.
Maybe in a way by approving the reserve funds, but
I feel
they
like the way that
they
it
didn't know,
is,
yeah.
yeah, the way that it's laid out now, and that you either vote yes or no on the entire budget, you don't really get a chance to vote on any individual one, so
Right.
to say that the town voted on it is. Or,
Right.
it's hard to say that, yes, they voted specifically on it.
I wouldn't be opposed if we wanted to say, we appreciate. All that's being done and big changes and whatnot, but if we collectively thought that 50,000 was a number we could live with more easily.
So I'm gonna give you this number, you could roll it up and have better information to.
Yeah.
So the tax number, let's make it 6,800,
6,800.
and the childcare is make it 400,
Yeah.
just rounding it a couple dollars.
Okay, so tax, that's the 09, 6,800.
So that
Yeah.
doesn't actually change when I go all the way down to total general expenses, that didn't change that.
Doesn't change.
Because that sums the total salaries.
And I'm sorry, childcare was what?
But they all should, childcare was four
Yeah.
hundred, 389, so I just,
Yeah, we'll get into it.
so your total,
So like that changes my total salaries. Like I guess I think mine, whatever I'm doing, my total is just whichever that block is right above it. No,
Okay, yeah, there's
they're separate.
general government. issues.
so it should be block, 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 and then there should be a grand total.
Like total general expenses, which would be right
That
there.
is just this block.
Right, I was thinking total.
So we wanna, the total.
Oh,
is-
okay, down
Here,
here,
yeah.
sure, okay.
That appropriations.
Without appropriations.
So you can, with the line item that says total general government.
Yes.
That's what you're looking at.
Okay, so that is what, do you have 440,000?
Oh, I didn't put all your numbers in. I've got, actually.
It looks like that block would be something like 123 or thereabouts.
The block with the library in it,
The total, yeah, general
So-
government salaries.
total, okay, so total salaries. I have 121,665,
121, 665.
yes, with Jenny's two numbers out of them.
Yeah. 121, 165,
665,
665.
Yeah, that's what I.
up
Okay.
from 115,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but as far as the library is concerned. We are. So that not having changed that number.
Oh,
is
so that's
still-
general.
It's
expenses,
still,
okay.
yeah, total general expenses were at 107,719, up from 97,229
With the library at 50.
at 50.
Okay.
Which is that's a 10% basically increase in general expenses.
You said, oh, the dues, okay, that.
So, I'm sorry, so it went from 97 to,
To 107. Oh, yeah, so yeah, about 10,000, right?
So,
just, yeah.
About 10%, maybe a little more.
Yeah, just about.
and the library itself went from 50,000 to. Say 40,000 to 50,000.
Yeah.
That went 25%, so that's.
Right. Because everything else is pretty flat.
Mhm.
Everything else stayed the same. We had a little bit extra for Rutland County tax went up. And. But that's-
Which I'm not sure it's gonna be that high. I'm not convinced, but.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the library. I've always been a strong supporter of it. I'm troubled in it. It's, what's gonna be a brutal year on the state budget. Which is gonna have trickle down effect to town budgets.
Right.
Which may, I don't know if we'll see that in highway aid or however, but just it's like the timing really sucks for a $10,000 increase.
Well, maybe they're gonna have to. Wait to hire their program coordinator. For the next year or something, or for the second half of the year and they can fundraise to cover that if they need to.
Mhm.
There's like ways to,
Yeah,
Mhm. Was the piece of, so they brought their. Last time Crystal and Kimberly brought their, like, paper, that's let me actually still, of the difference between what their. Right, so this to be raised over the next 18 months that, for the Bridge to Tomorrow campaign, 260,000.
campaign. Mhm.
Is what the difference between what they expect the bill to be and,
What they're really gonna
What they
have,
have.
so it seems like excess, right? Which
or under. Right, isn't that what that means?
they're under their budget.
They're under their budget by 200.
Yeah, that's what, but they're probably using it, which I think for,
Gotcha,
a cushion maybe, or contingency.
okay.
I don't,
Okay.
however.
See, I thought
yeah.
it was, I thought their total expenses are it's 2.3 million, which is over the
Mhm.
1.8 or 1.6
Right,
million
Oh,
grants that we
okay.
have.
okay, yeah.
This makes it sound like that's what they're missing out of the budget.
Let me see. Yeah,
Trying to
get that.
raise 260.
Right.
Oh, and they'll get it from the Bridge to Tomorrow campaign, got it, Um. So they won't have, then they won't have that money to cover this, but there are. Places in the budget, maybe that they can make adjustments,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because there always are, like if somebody,
Yeah.
if we got turned down, we would find it too.
Bill
I'm
Blaring.
not, I'm trying not to sway you, but just trying to look at all the different.
Mhm.
For this,
Mhm.
and I'm troubled for Robin.
Yeah, I've always said.
It's also the precedence of like, this is the first one in the new building, so it's, right, like this is the time to get more funding.
And then
As
they
the
say after
library.
that, they're not gonna ask for more, well, maybe.
Yeah, that's usually not the way it works.
Yeah, you still have salary increases and
Yeah, the,
for now, for
the
three people.
utility bills
Yeah,
and stuff was
right.
just a,
Mhm.
you know, kind of a,
Mhm.
it was just a wild ass guess, right? But it was probably on the high side, not on the low side.
Yeah.
In my opinion with, since I've been involved with making the budgets and stuff, my personal opinion has always been that any budget that has ever been presented anywhere can be cut 10%. At least, with nobody really feeling the impact, and that's not. You know, it's cutting some things, yes, but I mean, it's not.
Mhm.
There's cushions built in,
Yeah.
not huge cushions, I'm not saying that, but you can cut 10% without. Anybody feeling the pinch, that's just my opinion, but.
I agree, I've worked on budgets my whole career.
Mhm.
Figure out different ways to do things.
Some things are. Nice to have, but not required or whatever, there's things that can be
Mhm.
saved, I
Mhm.
think.
There used to be a lot of volunteer assistance in the
Yes.
library, and that's,
Mhm.
that seems like it's decreased. I haven't.
As far
Like
as the-
in terms of cleaning the building, you know, when you're on your shift, you
Yeah,
used to dust and vacuum and stuff.
instead
Well, I
of
think
sitting
so,
behind the
yeah.
desk and whatever.
So
Yeah.
there's ways around things.
Um, On the appropriations. What are the? Because I'm in black and white.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at Patty's
So
most recent.
we have. I guess Patty went through and kind of messed with everything, and we are. Rutland County Parent and Child Center did not
Yeah,
send anything, so that's 0. And then we have Big Heavy World, Vermont Family Network, and Habitat for Humanity all missed the deadline as well.
how about, on the food center?
Vermont Family Food Center is in here for $500.
Yeah. And Red Cross?
That's in 250.
Where's Rick?
The folder is here if anybody wants to see all those, but yeah, Patty sent out that this update.
Where's the Red Cross on? Is that there?
250, it's 1590.27. As Isaac said, yeah, the 4 that are highlighted, Rutland Family Parent Child. Big Heavy World, Vermont Family Network, and Habitat for Humanity. But no requests received as of yesterday.
Right.
And our deadline was actually December 31st. So that one request we did receive from the new one. Which was. Whatever that was.
Yeah, the Vermont Adult Learning,
Vermont Adult Learning, it was only $100, but
then this,
not only did they miss the deadline, it came in the 8th of January.
Yeah.
And Patty sent them the information on our policy that the deadline is December 31st and a new request needs to be presented via petition. You get, I think it's 5% of the, or is it 10%? I think it's 5%.
it's 10.
Is
It's
it 10?
6, yeah, 6 votes.
You know, 1% is 7 votes, so 5% would be like 35.
Oh, okay.
Sure. So anyway, they failed on both of those. Oh, that was the. Well, it's kind of similar to the, not Habitat for Humanity. Pets. Pets. Humane Society. I did send them a letter and Patty attached the policy. I sent them a letter saying that we're putting them in at 125, same as last year. For these 3 reasons. Number 1, it came in after the deadline. Number 2, it asked for an increase, which would have to be voted on again. And whatever number 3 was.
Based on their own recommendation, we should
Based
only
on their
pay.
own chart, it
Yeah.
didn't match the criteria, thank you. So we sent that to them, so we put them in at 125, same as last year.
And so the Vermont Adult Learning, they're out.
So they're not included on here at all, I suppose, you know, if we felt strongly. We could override our own policy and put them on, but. Or put them out to vote, but that's
Right.
Setting a precedent.
setting the precedent, that's right.
Yeah.
Might want to go to the Supreme Court and get that opinion.
We're slippery slope.
We don't want, it's a slippery slope if we make a policy and then the first time it comes up, we override it. So
Right. Yeah. So they're out.
I would say they're welcome to
Uh,
follow the process next budget cycle.
And is Vermont Rural Fire Protection?
Yeah, some of these have had different names. Vermont Rural Fire Protection Task Force is in here, $200.
Okay. Well,
This
used to
is
be
the,
George Aiken.
Right.
yeah, it used to be, there's the
I
name.
tell you, Robin, though, I remember at one meeting, you stood up and explained what it was for, and I was like, oh, good. And I always remember that, and I said
Yeah.
how important it is.
Yeah, it used to be George.
I stayed at home.
Yeah, George P. H.
Yeah, yeah.
Something or other.
Yeah, you're right.
There was like 2 or 3 of these that had different names this
Right,
year.
yeah.
And Chamber and Economic Development, formerly known as the Regional Marketing Initiative, there were 2 or 3 of them.
Easy to try to track these things.
Community Care Network used to be Rutland Mental Health,
Oh,
and there's a bunch of them. Which is all right, it just gets kind of confused.
it sure does.
So are we? So that puts us through the general government. Right?
Yeah.
And I kind of have a question mark at the library, so wants to see how total figures.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if you were discussing this, I noticed, that there was not a, number filled in in highway now, 14011.
140.
Administrative.
It's
Wait,
gas, diesel fluids.
Okay, so yeah, I just went in. So what happened, why that's 0, what happened at the last meeting was we were in the mix of trying to figure out what, if we're gonna do half the hauling on this specific project, do you take money out of the blah, 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 blah. So can we do gas and diesel and fluids the same as we're doing highway payroll, which is we know we're gonna be using them. So let's budget for
It made
them.
more complicated than it had
Yeah.
been, so.
Okay, so,
Well, you asked these guys, but I think,
but like, so as far as what want to see taken and put in a separate category, this doesn't
Yeah.
need to be part of it.
No, and
Even
that
if-
was so hard to figure that out. Yeah.
Right, so, yeah, I can see his point, the point being, if we're gonna do half the hauling, that is gonna cost
Mhm.
X amount of gas, diesel, and, you know, or whatever, so does that need to be charged to that line item? I don't know the answer to that.
Level fund it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as it doesn't go higher, yeah,
And yeah, we've made that way more,
Yeah.
trying to make that way more complex.
exactly, it was like, yeah. I was in the weeds with
So,
that one.
but I guess for future reference, then the things that do get included in their own special project line item is materials,
Yeah, and it's gonna, and yeah, right,
just
and
materials.
then when the actuals come in, I will include the payroll part of it with too, but we'll
Okay.
know,
Okay,
yes.
again, and then to make it a little more confusing, technically 10,000 of that 35 is hauling.
Yep.
So it's materials and hauling
Mhm.
would be
For the guarantee.
what that special line item is. Is there like a way to leave a note there saying that that's what how to,
Well, you can, in that column Y,
just next to it?
right, yeah, so that you remember, and yeah, so do that for sure, yeah. We can all refer back to that. That won't go into the town report, but that's good for the select board to know.
Okay.
And you might do the same at some point back up for the clerical piece,
Sure, yeah.
how you have allotted it. So that we remember that, because we always forget that.
And I would say if we're looking at highway too, or maybe there's other questions folks have, but. And Patty's got a note in here that we talked with Carl for paving reserve 140523. That we can cut that to 20 instead of 40.
Do
So-
you really want to do that?
That,
Yeah, I
right,
think so,
Mhm.
cause there was what, 200, or there will be 200 and something in there, and. I think it's safe.
But then things to think about is if you want, you know, if we start needing money for paving, because we're always gonna need money for paving.
Right.
And you ask for more again the next year, it's gonna be a huge jump.
Right.
Just psychologically.
that's,
Oh, were you here for that conversation?
I don't think Robin was.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's,
But I wonder if it. With paving grants, do they look at what you have available? I know
Yeah, I don't.
it's just, I know you have to do a portion.
Yeah.
But if you have more in reserve, do you get less in grant or?
Right, that was part of my concern as well, if we had. You know, 200 and some odd thousand, they say, well, you can go alone maybe, but
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know exactly how it would work, but
and just realistically thinking about grants. Who's gonna get grants now? And even in next year, who's gonna get them? Road commissioner doesn't want to do that. So then it would be select board. Do you see that happening?
and we don't wanna do that either.
Right, so
Yeah.
what are the chances of, right, you guys think about what the chances are of getting a grant for paving next year or even the year after with the current players, or even if we had new players, they're not gonna be unless, yeah. I'm just saying, we have always needed paving and we're always gonna need it. And, yeah, it's 200 and whatever thousand now, but we're gonna need that to,
that's
Some of
great,
that,
that's 100,000 a mile, you know, that's.
yeah, you know, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So that's just food for thought, your decision.
Well, a lot of these numbers were. Significantly up from last year, seemed like it anyway, but the total number
So you put
is
32
not
in,
bad, so.
What's that?
you put 32 in for
I put 32 in for fuel and,
So,
yeah.
So I have a question, 140521.
121, highways
Surplus,
surplus.
surplus, and
Yep.
I don't understand.
Yep.
Does that mean spending from the highway surplus?
Mhm,
For the projects.
mhm. So that number matches our two special projects.
Okay, is that why it's on mine?
It's light, right? Yeah, so that means it's red, it's a negative.
Okay,
On here.
so we're not we're not
We're,
adding
we're
twice.
pulling from the surplus to cover those two projects.
Okay.
And you might want to name that something different for the town report. You're using highway surplus, but you might want to
Mhm.
call that highway surplus reserve or something,
Mhm.
just so that we know, or highway, yeah.
The highway
Gotta think of
reserve
it.
fund.
Because if it comes to the end of the year. Next year, yeah, it probably should be in its own line item.
Other than surplus.
Because if it comes to the end of the year next year and we have surplus, or we need to use surplus to cover the budget, it's gonna go on, it needs to go in that line.
Right.
That should be called something. different.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
highway reserve, special project reserve use or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I see. So a new line.
Yeah, so I can add that for you
Okay. Okay.
when we,
Yeah, so that's just in there, right now, it's just in there to offset the Garham Road and the Daisy Hollow, correct?
yeah, it's just
35
special
and
projects.
55,
Yeah.
It's just a special projects, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Special project surplus or something, I don't know, or reserve or whatever.
Oh,
Mhm.
let's see.
Reserve. Implies that
Yeah, it's dedicated.
it's a dedicated
Account,
account.
the town had to vote on it, and it can only be used for what it's dedicated for in the
Okay.
morning.
Right, okay. Have we done that with this then?
Yeah, I think it was
At one point.
last year, the year before, yeah,
That like all highway surpluses to be used for the highway?
yeah.
That's
Oh,
not-
yeah, all highway surplus has. Highway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should put a different line in there.
In which case we zero out highway surplus
For 2027, yeah,
and then add a new line, highway reserve.
but for tonight's.
Yeah.
Exercise, I was just looking to see why things have increased so much. In highway use. Oh, part of it. I guess it was the payroll.
The payroll is the big one, I think.
Mhm.
Right, we have a second full-time employee.
Yeah,
Plus,
but is it higher than? Last year, you guys budget, I guess you were the only one here.
it's 20,000 more than last year.
Is it, okay,
Yeah, I have 182,000 last year and 203,000 this year.
and.
But everything else is kind of leveled out. I guess
So,
that's what
yeah,
makes-
so
is it too-
here's the interesting thing then, the payroll is higher because of. Here's my analysis here, let's think about this thing. It is higher because of. The work that the road commissioner projected would be involved in the projects.
How do you mean?
Well, because we're not taking the payroll for the projects out of the payroll,
Yeah,
right? Because that's hard to do, but
yeah.
I'm just trying to think this through. Do we still though need to maybe add
I think his
money to the reserve surplus to cover that?
oh, okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
but then those two line items don't match up and then.
Yeah, it doesn't, you know, we can explain it. Yeah, we don't, but maybe it's just a difference between the 2026 payroll budget and the 2027 payroll budget. We put that in there and we expect that difference to be,
Mhm.
but let me just add that up and see. I gotta just think it through a little bit to see if that really makes sense.
Yeah, because most of the other categories aren't really too different, not much different.
Right, it's just that payroll class
Payroll.
3 one, right? Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, Bill was basically alone for
Mhm.
quite a while.
I feel like that was his point with this. Like those numbers are. If you take two people at $25 an hour. Times them
Oh, I knew it was-
by all those hours, that's
Right.
what you get.
Right.
Oh, I
Two
don't know.
thousand eighty.
Yes.
I looked at that.
Is that what it is?
2080 is the standard 40-hour, 52-week day.
I've always just done it out. Times 8 times.
If you just
Sounds-
had if you look at, there's a tab, you probably can pull it up, you can see it,
Mhm.
26, 27 wages, if they did their standard. Hours, no overtime, it would be $111,000, that would be with.
Mhm.
Delphi, Mahar and an extra person,
Including an extra person?
Yeah.
A part-time extra person?
yeah, that would be, yeah. So in
Okay.
theory, yeah. Well,
And he said 130.
yeah, but I'm wondering, he said 130 compared to what? Hang on a second, I had another analysis that I did the other day. Going too deep in the weeds, but I'm just trying to think like, do we owe it to ourselves to take some of that reserve money to cover
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
extra money? And I'm thinking, probably. I don't want to use that money. My point is, overall has been, this money's not a slush fund to cover an overage in the budget, but if
Right.
it's warranted for those projects,
Right.
Yeah,
So like, say it
then
was
it would be,
what's a project like that? I mean, we're all just guessing here, but like a 3-week project. Or more to do what he's proposing.
The Garen Road project, I think it will be quick.
Real quick, okay, so,
I don't really understand, I don't know the scope of the Daisy Hollow project.
yeah.
I don't either, I thought the Daisy Hollow was pretty well done, except for top coating and riprap.
suspect,
And
it's hard to get an answer.
yeah. So I'm not entirely sure on that, but
Well, so let's say if the project is a week project, 1 week,
Mhm.
and if both guys we think will be working on it,
Mhm.
okay, so that's 80 hours, and I have their overtime dollar projection, so
Mhm.
80 times, because it'll be overtime at that point, I'm sure. Plus. Oops. That's about 3,000 for that project, so that's not a lot.
Yeah.
And the other project, the Daisy Hollow, we don't really know what that entails,
Right.
but if that were a week for both, that would be another 1,000, let's say,
Right.
6,000.
So
So let's look at the budget and,
we're at 48.50 if we changed it to. Adding 6. Of payroll. Is that? 54?
yeah. 54.5, yeah.
Um. Total. Highway. That's
Oops, minus.
So
Minus 54.
Now that brings total highway to 552,235.
558, maybe?
Total highway
Yeah,
with the extra 6 in this in our special or highway surplus reserve fund, it brings it to 5,552,000.
oh, I see, you took 6 out, okay.
So,
I mean, are we in a? If
so that's a 4.5% increase. And so then I would say to all of you, we had one person give you his sense of what the projection of
Mhm.
the line item should be, and do you agree with them or not?
Shouldn't if we're looking at 2 weeks of 2 people at 2 weeks, $6,000 labor. That's time that they won't be spending on regular class 2 maintenance. I mean, should it come out of there? Should we have?
well, that's what we just did was add. And like add negative. We took 6,000 out of the total budget, basically, by adding 6 to this reserve fund. Which I don't think it much matters where at that point, like as long as we know that's what that is
Okay.
for, it's doing the same thing.
Yeah, you
Okay.
essentially did the same
Yeah.
thing.
As taking 6 out of there
Okay.
and put it, we put it into that. project. That's so this, and that specifically is why Carl had a little, like, well, where do we stop, right? Like, you go into payroll and pull out numbers there, propose and this and that. Whereas if we just have the numbers and know what they are, you can go into this reserve fund and then a projected materials cost and hauling cost for a line item.
Yeah, if you get too carried away with that too, to some extent, if you get too carried away. And you don't wind up doing one of those projects for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Sickness, truck breaks down, somebody quits and,
Mhm.
so then.
40 days and 49.
Yeah, so then your different categories could be all screwed up, but more than they would have been anyways. Just because we were trying to. rob Peter to pay
Yeah, I
Paul.
guess I'm curious what that, were the 130. Then if you got
Yeah, I think
111,
it's high. So that's what I'm gonna go back to asking you, Terry. Do you remember last year when you made the budget for 25-26? Was that under the assumption that we would have
2 full-time.
two full-time and a part-time?
Well, I would say it was certainly under the assumption that we'd have 2 full-time because
Mhm.
we had anticipated Philip to get his CDL.
Mhm.
so but
So,
you're saying between
well,
fiscal year 2025
so for fiscal,
ending,
No,
for
actually,
fiscal year 25-26 that we're in now, looking at the
the
plan.
orange, that's the orange.
Plan.
Yeah.
So I,
or maybe
So-
not, actually, let me back up because I don't think they were counting, because Philip didn't really come on board until
January something
started
last.
full-time
25.
in January, but we would have been, I think he worked part-time, didn't he, for
Yeah, but were you, yeah,
quite a while.
but when you were making the plan, though, I
So
wonder
when
if
we
you
were
thought.
making the plan, I don't think we were probably counting. We might
I
have been
mean,
hoping.
the numbers reflect
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
3% increase from the year before, so it wasn't hiring a new person.
Well, I think if the intent was that we would have at least 2 full-timers. That, the plan for the year we're in now would have been $109,000. So now we're gonna, in theory, jump from 109 to 130. Right, 130,000, but let's take that 6,000 out, so.
Mhm.
Cause it's gonna be for the project, so
Mhm.
a jump from 109 to 124,000,
15,000.
that's 14,000, I mean 14% increase, so. unless. Well, we're never gonna get that out of him, but like,
Mhm.
I understand about why Carl said he. Thinks the increase should come from having a the correct staff. And these projects or whatever, it just seems like, to me, it seems like a big jump. You know, I look at every year. The plans that we've had, and I know, the increases change things, but I applied increases to it. 1.9, like. I don't know. I'm thinking, we're getting into the weeds too much, just, yeah.
We don't have current numbers on last year, do we? Actuals on the year ending?
Do you have?
From 25, 26, we're only in December,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, I know it is, and that's why I tried to.
So-
These recaps and
So
then,
we're currently at 65,000, presumably we're gonna get to one. Like, what, 130,000?
65,000 from.
65,000 is the last numbers I have.
As of 11:30, yeah.
Yeah. But that's leaving out some things like health, or no, road commissioners at 0, like right now, traffic. and stuff.
65,080 as of 11:30.
And what line item are you looking at?
I'm looking at the total for
Payroll.
actuals.
Payroll.
Payroll.
So you need to take out, yeah, the childcare, you need to take out.
Take out,
Well, what you're 65,000,
yeah,
all right, yeah, never mind.
I guess I just mean, so like, we're going from. The year prior, which we do have actuals, was 172,000 budgeted, we only spent 137. Then the next year we budgeted another 10,000 more, and we're set on course, it looks like, to have just about the same 137,000 actual.
Cause you're doubling it, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably a little more, but.
probably a little more, but it's still quite a bit under the.
Right.
What we
Right,
budgeted.
right, so,
Right,
yeah, that's, yeah, so I think.
And
it's kind of
and-
high.
And last year. The year of 2025 to 2026, Philip has been working full-time. That whole year,
Mhm.
right.
right, and we're on track for that to be. Pretty under budget. If I'm reading those numbers
Mhm,
correctly.
mhm.
The other argument was that everyone got pay increases, was it last year? Like, there was just a general increase in highway payroll, was there?
Well, these increases would be, July 1
Of
this year,
this thing.
what we're, budgeting now.
Mhm.
Okay.
So if we were to, so again, I'm just back to this plan for fiscal year 2026, if that was a solid plan for having. People in place that we need to have in place, that was what was projected for. And they weren't all in place, and that's why we're coming under. If we take the 26 plan that we thought would have us full staff and apply 3% to that to 2027.
Mhm.
That's $187,000 total.
About 20,000 less.
Yeah, so about
Less.
16 less.
Right, so I
Mhm.
think there's
There's an argument there to be made.
an argument there to be made that the payroll projections for the budget are a bit high for 26, 27.
That seems like the easiest place to pull numbers down to bring us closer to a 3% or less increase, right? That's other than the
Yeah,
library.
frankly, when I was apportioning the dollars per classification, it just didn't seem right to me. I was struggling to make it work, and I'm like,
Mhm.
why would there be a increase from 37,000 to 50,000 in class 3?
Mhm.
Okay, so maybe it is for the projects, but then as we just talked about the projects,
Yeah, we've already added them. Yeah.
it's, $12,000 versus 6 increase.
Mhm.
Um, So that's where I feel like that line item 140101.
Yeah.
Maybe that could come down 10 and then still keep that 6 in the
Mhm.
surplus. You guys follow me? I know we're getting in the weeds here.
Broad strokes, yes.
Yeah.
So that changing just that by 10, changes the percentages of everything quite a bit,
Mhm.
right? I don't know if that matters.
The percentages
Of those 6, I remember basically Carl gave us a number. He said, "Here's what I think it's going to be,
Right.
130," and then you went and
Right,
actually
right,
did the
So,
calculation
look at that, yeah.
percentage.
But like I said, I was kind of struggling a little bit because the way he had it, what did he have? 70-60, that it was just not working.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense to me, but
Okay.
if I put it in.
I think we could work with that if we
Yeah.
just put 10 out of there. And
Yeah, instead of just going
That
to
would-
math again, I just,
Yeah, that would make it a little more reasonable, I think.
um,
So that would be a 10,000, which is about a 5% increase, seems like this time. Or just less than from last year. I'm reading that right. From
and let
180
me take the payroll down a little bit then.
Yeah, that would take
The
payroll
10,000.
down just a little.
Oh, it changes all the other stuff, doesn't it? Is
Yeah,
that what
but
you
I'll just
mean?
take it down. Yeah, really. Calculation.
Like payroll, everything else changes as well, right? Taxes.
Payroll taxes will change, VEMR's will change a little bit. So if you guys are comfortable with that, then I will just do the math later.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yes.
It just,
So that'll take our taxes down a little.
all right, it'll take taxes, VEMR's.
You gotta tax the taxes.
Maybe
You always
65
gotta
under
tax
or
the
something. Every
Because
little bit
I'm
helps.
paying all I need to do exactly. So, just.
Like you printed on the back of one of Melissa's lesson plans there.
Yeah. I just figured I'd sing a little.
Sing a little
bit.
bit, please, yeah.
Gotcha. News. Inside all the time.
Today we'll be talking about time signature. Saw a T-shirt the other day with the 2 music staffs, and one had time signature of like 7/8, and then the other one had 11/13 or something, and
About 6, 7.
and it said, "These are difficult times."
Good. So what's
Almost there.
happened here?
765.
Something weird happened between 2 years ago and last year too. The budget dropped $50,000 from just looking at total highway.
That one bill was working along.
I would say
It was when you hired Philip. The opposite, from 578 to 528.
And the other thing you guys can control is, if they start getting too much overtime. Like that year we had Brent here, I felt like it was getting abused. The overtime.
I was curious about that
And
actually.
Bill felt the same too.
Right. I think it was even, I think it was Carl who mentioned it, like, why are we paying overtime in the summer? Mentioned it about Bill, but
And
no.
Brent was, yeah. Oh, here we go.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think. Chuck and Philip, a lot of times. They do their thing and they leave when they're done,
Mhm.
because sometimes I come through at 2:30 or 3 o'clock and whatever, and it looks like they're both gone, so I think they get their time in and they don't necessarily stay till 3:30 if they don't have to. So I think they're keeping their hours down, I believe.
Right.
So far, which, in the wintertime, who the heck knows, it's
Yeah.
a crapshoot, but.
Yeah.
Absolutely, in the summertime, generally speaking, unless there's some kind of a washout or they're working on a project or something, there's no need for.
Right.
For any overtime, and we've always suggested they can set their schedule, do. Little 10-hour days, Have the extra day off or something.
Mhm.
Okay, so, payroll taxes, let's go with, 10,300.
I have 6,800 right now. Payroll taxes?
140,106.
No.
You're looking at general maybe,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. We should double check with each other, then,
Health insurance, maybe?
Beamer's 7,600.
And
The 7,600.
141,
That was what, 10,008,
10,003.
10,003 for payroll tax?
Beamer's 7,600. And, childcare 560. Same as last year.
and
Why
what
is
is
that?
Beamer's?
Wait,
That's the
I
employee.
think I missed something.
From not municipal employee retirement.
It's the retirement, so we pay 6% of their salaries. And they get 4.5% taken out of their paycheck for themselves that they pay.
Like some kind
Yeah, like,
of.
let me see if, I think I did a. And about that 10,000 is right, okay. Six. Wait, Beamer's wrong, I was wrong. Made a mistake. Let's make it, oh, it's only the two of them. Times 8. Yeah, you can leave it at what I told you,
Okay.
that was right.
7,600.
Yeah, and then I guess childcare, just, yeah. Keep it as last year, 565.
All right.
So what we got here,
It's 191,400.
191, 4.
191,400.
So that's an increase of 9,000. That's
But less than
easier
7%.
to.
and yeah,
defend.
part of that came, it looks like the culverts jumped up. 140,504, Carl explained that.
Way down in, you're talking down in,
Yeah, oh, you're looking at just the.
I was just looking at
just-
just
Okay,
yeah,
that's.
highway.
Yeah,
mate.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Our supply of culverts is pretty well depleted.
Yeah, I
believe.
mean, that seems
Yeah,
like the
that's
kind of
right,
thing,
that's
like every,
right.
yeah, every once in a while you need.
I don't know what they have planned for this year, but. No, that's a little more palatable.
Yeah.
Smaller increase and then.
Yeah.
We haven't been, but we could get, more severely questioned on. Why we keep running a surplus and putting into a surplus.
Right, yeah,
So it's good to be as close as possible. We don't want to be under, of course, but,
Right.
so I think that's workable. I think
Mhm.
that's good.
Defendable.
Yeah. It's all a crapshoot anyway, but.
So,
And, and so far, we have not changed the paving reserve, is that right?
No,
it's at 40.
I have
Still
it,
at 40.
I have it at 4 still,
So overall for highway, it looks like a 2.3% increase, which.
2.3.
Yeah, I got 540, is that what you have? Total highway,
540.
yeah, versus 528 last year. That seems fair.
So we've already, I mean, obviously, those numbers are all plenty higher than they were to cover a 3% raise as well in payroll.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing that you didn't necessarily calculate.
We're also, I mean, the other half of this equation. The way that the warning is always phrased, the article is always phrased, is
Oh, the
the
extra
amount
amount.
be raised, this amount to be raised by taxes.
Mhm.
And so what is the offsets?
Yeah.
And for highway, I'm only seeing
Highway
67.
Yeah, what we get. from
So,
the state.
yeah, I'll tell you, we get, we get the offset is the highway, 55,000. I think it's half of current use,
Half
Patty's got it at the
current,
bottom,
Or
right?
half of current use.
And half of delinquent taxes and what is this here?
He says all
Half of-
grant,
Half of interest and penalties, I think. Let me just refresh my memory here.
half.
And the grant and the grant revenue too is 12,000. So 55 plus 32 plus 12 plus, let me just double check the tax thing. I think Patty had it at the bottom. I have it in my notes in there.
And Vermont Highway, is that? Right, so we have 55 from the state.
Right, Vermont
Straight
Highway,
out.
and half of the current use, which is right under that highway.
32, and then
32.
Half of tax related, which would be
Penalties.
the
and
5
and
plus the
stuff.
2 plus, so what we have in the budget now, the 5, the 2 and the 2, so the 4,500 more.
Okay,
It's 103.5.
and did you have the 12,000 grant as well?
So that's 355 plus 32 plus 12 plus 4.5. 103.5 for the highway.
So last year. We offset 155.
However, we had.
We've done a lot of
No,
delinquent tax that we had.
we still have the budget. What am I missing? If you look at the budget last year, we 522 for the, so it would be 4.5.
Right.
Maybe it was the year before, Robin, when we had grant revenue for the highway.
69.
Maybe you're looking at the wrong warning thing.
Right,
But the wrong warning, yeah, I always get mixed up on that.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
No, you gave me the right book,
You gave me the
just I
right book.
looked at the wrong.
but yeah, it's
Oh.
like, cause we show notes from the year before. Yeah,
Summary of.
totally
Oh, okay.
confusing.
So,
I think the actual warning is on the back page, I think.
this is the school.
Go to the school. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, here we go. Okay, it was 100,000. 102,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this reserve, we're not calling this reserve fund, highway surplus, whatever, as also in that line? Like, will that also be added to that number, technically? No, okay.
Oh, no.
And so I'm just looking at her formula to see if I could
Oh, 'cause it's
put
already.
it in the formula. Oh, there we go. Let's see what she did here. Yeah, her formula is going to the wrong thing, but if we do it manually, it's just
And just,
55 plus 30. Yeah, and why it's more this year is because highway is 2,000 more, so. So half of delinquent interest and penalties is 4.5 plus 55.
and just
Plus
as a,
half of current use
as
32.
a note for her appropriations to be voted, this is today's version, she did include
Mhm.
from our adult learning, which was $100, that is in this total here.
Okay.
And she, and, so I think we should just say by consensus, when we get to that, we just say that that request was denied. We're not including that.
Mhm.
Rescue squad and fire
Yeah.
department, we're saying this last.
Um,
Yeah. So,
Okay,
mhm.
just assume, I just want to double check your number on the total revenue line, for. Yeah, total revenue, it's line 50 on your spreadsheet, I think, 183.
183.5.
All right, so the way it works out is highway gets 103.5. Town gets 79.5. The $103,500. Will be the reduction of what gets raised by,
Mhm.
so. So then what you'll do is, yeah, what you're gonna take is, to find out what has to be raised by taxes, you're gonna take the. So for the town and total government line,
Mhm.
which I see 440466, is that right?
Total general government,
Yeah.
440,466.
440. We're gonna take that number and we're gonna subtract the revenue.
Mhm.
and you said the revenue's 79.5.
Yeah. So that would be total to be raised for taxes is 30966 for the town.
30.
966. I'm sorry, $360,000. $360,966.
$360,000.
966. Looks like, yeah, I use some shorthand in my head and.
I do, it's,
People that are
yeah.
not math people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
To be raised for,
So what did we have to
General.
raise last year?
well, it just has a total of 897,952.
Right, so,
There's no, it doesn't break it up between highway and.
yeah, you have to read it in
And the
the.
warning, okay.
So last year, we had to raise 344,771.
So that's a 4.7% increase, but it's a little wacky also because. We moved. Did we move, how much, did we move any appropriations?
Into,
I'll have to like digest this tomorrow when you send me the update, but.
oh,
Yeah, so that's a 4.7% increase.
okay,
And actually, so, yeah, the total budget. Without the. 2,916. Total budget increased 2.7%, the government.
So we have less offset this year is what.
And let's just see
Yeah.
if that makes sense to me.
last year we had, for the town, we had 83,000
83,
offset.
okay,
Yeah.
that was why. 7, because we had, in other revenue, we had $39,000 in the plan. And this year we only have $36,000 in the other revenue, because all that other revenue, which starts 120400,
Mhm.
So because it looks like we reduced interest and investments by $3,000. So that's why we have less revenue this year to offset it.
And investments. Interesting.
So interest is what the interest that we get on our bank accounts.
Yeah.
And we were living great the last couple of years because
Sure.
interest rates, they were high, which is bad for mortgages, but high to get interest.
Yep.
Now, I suspect they're gonna slow down. They are slowing
They
down.
They are.
Depending on what our administration decides. So that's why, okay, so that makes sense.
Hopefully we can keep Jerome Powell in there as long as possible.
Okay, so then, right, yeah, I was
Someone do
listening to. Marketplace, you ever listen to that? It's 6:30 on BBR.
No.
Yeah, he like lays it out, yeah. Anyway, okay, so then for highway. 540300, is that what you have, right?
540300.
540300 minus
I'm not trying to write all
one.
these numbers down. so-
Yeah, so total to be raised is $436,800. 436,800.
And last year,
Mhm.
it was 426,055. So 10,000 last year to be raised by taxes.
2.5% more. So, yeah, once we, yeah, let's pencil these numbers in. Once, Isaac sends out the, update, or you
Yeah.
can send it to Patty and she could update the numbers, but I'll look at it too, just to
Yeah.
make sure.
I'll send it to
That it makes
everyone.
sense to me,
The more people that have this, the better
Yeah.
I feel, because right now I'm the only one.
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
computer. Could we get those two added together, Jenny, real quick? 436,800 and 360,966.
797,766.
797,766.
But that's, you're putting on the property tax thing line?
Property tax.
Yeah, don't do that because,
It's gone.
we always wait until the budget is, finalized, because there are other things that have to be voted on for the budget,
Sure.
like your other little appropriations and
Okay.
fire department, whatever.
Yeah.
Those, they're not in this regular budget, they have to be added on to it.
Okay.
So when we just figure out the tax rate, I have to add that to our.
So that's
total
why it was just
expense.
lower than last
Yeah,
year's.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's gonna be higher again.
Gotcha. Okay,
Assuming everything gets approved,
sure.
so, so Robin, what are you thinking about the library these days, just to circle back to that?
I'm feeling like we should trim it.
Cause whatever we give now, they're gonna expect it at least for next year,
Yeah.
and things could get more challenging, or not, but yeah.
We've already trimmed 4,000 something, 4,000, what was their actual ask?
Well, they trimmed it because they did the math wrong,
Yeah.
so it should have been.
I mean, to 50, by
Oh,
trimming it to
50,
50,
okay.
we've already gotten.
Their trip, it was 54840 was the
So
original.
we've already trimmed 4,800 from that number.
Mhm.
I'm wondering. Well. We don't need to tell them how to adjust their figures.
No, that's their, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you just tell them what you think the select board can afford
Right,
and what you think is prudent.
so I'm looking at the. Program coordinator position, which was almost 10,000. I mean, yeah, it would be great.
Right. But it's now the time to do it, right?
Right.
Or like I said, maybe they, as they do their fundraising for that year, if they have extra money in fundraising, they can implement it with their excess.
Right, so, I mean, program coordinator, and if you add in some of the taxes. We're at 10,000, so if we,
Yeah.
but 10,000 instead of the
down to 50, so dropping it instead to 44. 80,
Yeah,
44,800.
sorry, friends of the library.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm. Um,
Dropping it from 50 down to 44, that what you said?
that's the
Yeah.
current one we've got going. What's the Unifac transfer reserve? What is that? 130509? Just a reserve fund for some
municipal facilities.
municipal facilities.
So that's to build a, municipal facilities is any building that we want to build.
Yeah.
So for the transfer station area,
Yeah.
we'd eventually like to move that.
Yeah.
Somewhere, because it really shouldn't be there, right?
Yeah. And that we
So we're
can also
saving
use
money
that.
for that.
We can also use that to build our garage, presumably then.
We've got a garage one, and that is. 140527,
140527.
that's in the highway, so we've been putting away $20,000 a year for that.
So the other place, it's like kind of, peanuts and a budget this big, but we have town property maintenance set at 5,000 still, with
What-
1,500 of it,
Oh,
which we wanted to drop, but we left 1,500 of it in for their planting, for plantings. So, that's just one thing, one of the notes that I had.
Oh,
Is-
yes,
is
yes,
that-
yes. I think we could reduce that, I don't know how much the. Well, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Yeah,
yeah, that's another thing, like, is that a luxury, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
look nice.
Yeah.
what number is that?
so we're looking at 130510. I guess the idea there is it's everything outside this building, right?
130510, oh,
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a total in there, 5,000, and we were saying we allocated 1,500 for planting.
Yeah,
Is that town property maintenance, does that include things like pumping the tanks?
so that's why we got to drop it, because that, I
What's
think
that?
we looked it up, the main thing that was being billed to that item was
What's the
them pumping the septic, which we got drastically better at
Right.
this year with the water.
Yeah.
But I guess we're also trying to get a property facility manager or some sort of maintenance person to take some of that, so.
Yeah. I mean, and Amanda's doing some of that.
Yeah, so she's, I mean, she's the one we're hoping to do it.
She's shoveling the walks and stuff,
Yeah.
and we're plowing the driveways ourselves.
That was just one of the notes that I had, if we wanted to revisit that.
I'd be, okay with lowering the, town treasurer assistant to like, because they don't have to work every week of the year 5 hours. So, so let's see if even if I do 40 weeks at 5 hours, times 18, it's 3,600. So take one for the team and make that work.
System treasure, okay, so sorry, the number you just,
So that would be, where is that? 13013. 13.
Okay.
Make that 36,
36.
and I'm gonna. That will lower a little bit. Let's see if it lowers the taxes. Not substantially, we can keep them at 6,800.
Okay. Computer. Technology. elections, I think it was Patty that suggested we bump that up to 6 from 3.
Yeah.
Specifically because we have 3
With the
elections,
three
this is right, yeah.
elections. Well, the
Yeah.
town meeting will still be in this year, but
Right,
Right.
we'll have 3 elections next year.
January,
We'll
right,
have
yeah, because it'll be August.
Primary, general, and
Yeah,
town meeting
yeah,
next year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else seems pretty flat, if not lower. Town map update, obviously, big one, but where's the same?
I wrote a number in here, I have no idea why.
Neither do we.
Yeah, I wrote it on the constable line, $6,800, and it's like, that's of.
Oh, that was probably the taxes, I think, payroll taxes, do you have anything in
Yeah,
what do you have in your
probably.
payroll tax line, Robin? Which
Mhm.
would be.
130109, that's
Um,
6,800.
three,
Cause constable should be 0, yeah.
oh, yeah, good, see, you do know.
Just lucky. Jen only jumped on the numbers, she knew the numbers, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think all in all, it's pretty.
So,
So if we're changing the library, I'll give you a new,
Yeah, 444.80 or 800.
yeah, what line was that?
The library,
Yeah.
one
305,
30 130508.
So that is, what did you say, 44840?
44800. That's for funding.
I don't know if we've ever,
Funding.
Okay, so then, yeah, because I think it is good to be conservative on the town budget too, because again, appropriations are gonna be, and a lot of towns. It's hard to grasp for the taxpayers, but they'll be added on top of. What they're gonna approve for the town, I don't think they realize that, so,
right,
I
I think they've never understood that.
yeah.
And really do.
Okay, so now we're at 434,066, is that what you got for town?
434066.
66
The
minus.
library, you said what, 44,800 or something?
44,800.
44,800, wow.
So for the town, the amount to be raised. By taxes right now is 354,566.
966.
566,
566.
354,566.
and have a percent increase, what is that?
Yeah, what did we say last year's was, I didn't write that down. Not last year's total,
last year's, to be raised.
amount to be raised.
Town,
344,771.
34771, okay.
yeah, 344,771.
2.8.
Wow.
I like it.
2 point, that was, what was that before? Wasn't that
4.7.
more like 4.7?
Yeah, I think that's more palatable, like you said, Robin.
130.
That's right in according to the. Cost of living, federal government.
Right, yeah.
2.7, 2.8.
And so let's see the grand total, that's.
Right.
Um, So, and the timing on this, we needed,
Before next Thursday.
She would like it to be done.
I'd like it to be done yesterday.
Yeah,
the answer.
yeah, no calendar anymore.
We don't,
I mistakenly put 2 weeks from today and then.
Oh, I have a calendar on my computer.
so, yeah, as far as. I think it's due the 31st, but, Patty was saying that she would help us kind of
Yeah,
fiddle with it. But for that to happen, we would need to have it in
by
before,
the 22nd.
yeah, before the 22nd.
She'd like it 22nd, yeah, but at the latest.
So that would be
So
on
we
Thursday.
probably, I mean, if we get the numbers all in and calculated right, and whatever, we could probably do it first thing that, or if Patty and Jenny need to be here, we could do it at 6 o'clock, maybe that Thursday, or.
6 was harder for you though, right?
Yeah, but whatever
But-
works, I've been, you know,
Or,
I'll manage, like, this is important and I've been through it all, but.
Yeah. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any more changes we need to do. Or if we get the
Thank
numbers
you for
all done,
remembering.
if we get the numbers all done and we're all happy with it, we could do it a week from tonight, probably a special. I don't know, what anybody.
Dude, right,
Hmm. 20.
yeah,
I guess, I mean, I would prefer not to have another meeting, but,
Hmm.
if it makes. If it would make a significant difference to Patty to have it on Tuesday. Rather than Thursday, then. We can do that.
mhm.
We can ask her if that's a.
Yeah, we can just email her, cause I'm gonna email her this anyway, which maybe that's all. Well, so all she needs,
Email
cause we
it
need,
right now and I'll add the line and then I'll get it back to you and then you
Okay.
can email it. Officially.
Let's do it.
We can email it and say we can do this, Thursday the 22nd, or if you'd like.
so
If it's really useful or something, we can.
13.
Yeah, none of us are rather.
Like if she knows that. Yeah, cause she'll work on it and then, yeah, so.
We'll just shoot her. Okay, so this is,
I'm just gonna put that row in and send it back and then
Okay.
you can.
Is like I guess how important is it that all 5 of us are present to do the is it just a unanimous, or is it just
It'd be nice to have the 4 of us, don't have to.
Right.
And you'll see quite frequently, there's only 4 out of 5 that, when a warning is signed or whatever, so.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't absolutely have to be here, but it's kind of important that
Right.
everybody should be here if they can.
Yeah,
Right.
so it'd feel better if more
But-
people were present to like actually
Yes.
All right.
say it's what we want, yeah. So- With that new line, we'll send this back out to everyone, but there's no way we're gonna get decisions made unless we have another meeting
Right,
from people.
maybe,
So I'll just email Patty tomorrow morning and get her.
I'm kind of feeling like we should just go ahead and schedule a meeting for Tuesday.
Next week.
Probably looks that way.
And go,
Yeah.
just go through, so we have time to discuss it and we're not.
We're gluttons for punishment.
Wrap it up before.
We might be inundated with a angry library board or something too, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just speaking from experience, like every time we submitted a budget, we were hoping the select board would challenge it back then, or in the back of my mind, and we were always prepared, so.
Mhm.
I don't, yeah. They might be disappointed, but they also, they're taxpayers too,
Right.
you know,
Right,
hopefully they'll understand that. Just make sure my totals are right here. Yeah, actually, I don't envy you guys having to, but I think it makes sense. Like if it was just a negligible reason, but I think you all discussed it. And Just being prudent with the budget. I think this is good, so.
And, I mean, it's unfortunate that this is a year when they are all working their butts off. You know,
Yeah, that's true. If I just put in one new thing. Or addition to the budget, if we, not budget, the agenda, if we talk for a minute. Everybody probably saw Patty's email that she's very frustrated that everybody comes and asks her how come either the roads aren't sanded or if they are sanded, but nobody knows because they can't see the color of the stone and whatnot. And how come there's no, or where can public get sand and how much can they take and whatever, and nothing is really any different. Anyway. Would anybody object if I just contacted Jimmy Myers, have him bring us one load of his material, dump somewhere up there in the corner? I'm thinking the far end of the sand pile, back against the wall as close as he can get, just dump a load there and say, this is for town. Townspeople, they can get how many buckets they want, and it's not for people to come in and fill up their entire bed of the pickup truck and stay in their half-mile driveway, but it's. And well, maybe put a blurb out on Front Porch Forum, but. Does anybody have a problem with that?
So I actually sent it, I thought that I sent out a response to Patty's email. Nobody seems to have gotten it, so I might have done that thing where I don't hit send.
I've done that before. I hit save instead of send and.
Yeah,
Did- did it come
sometimes you don't wanna send something angry
Yeah,
and send
yeah.
it and then what shit,
Right.
right?
So. And, yeah, well, anyway, I had said, Carl, you know, can you tell us what the clear line, communication lines are and priorities if someone has highway questions? Is it you and then Chuck and then Philip, or, you know, what is the, and we need to then, if, you know, publish Carl's phone number.
Yes.
And the second part was, and I proposed that we take a load of the stuff we have up at Jimmy's and put it near Fort Dumpster. And
Good.
available 24/7, as much as people can load with a shovel.
Yeah. Sounds good. We used to have, I don't know if it's over there somewhere, we used to have a sign. A little metal sign, and the post was all bent as shit, but anyway. Saying for public use, I'll see if I can dig that up. And yeah, we do need to publish some phone numbers because we had another incident on Garham Road on Sunday morning, Sunday noon or something, I don't know.
Yes.
And apparently, I think they said the state police were involved, trying to call, they called Bill, and of course. He said he's not involved anymore, and so they were looking for somebody to sand a private driveway, which we typically do if it's a, you know, a fire or an ambulance or something. And they did get it straightened out, I guess, but Sean had called me, you know, he didn't have, and I don't think, I don't know if we do, he didn't have Chuck's phone number or cell number, he didn't have Philip's cell number.
And I don't either.
And I do have Chuck's cell number, I don't believe I have a number for Philip.
I'll give her to them. Kind of gave her to me. Line.
Yeah.
They're in my office.
And everybody should have them, and we'll try to update the state police, but they're not always too responsive with that. And Carl was out of town, I'm not sure when he left, but he went to Florida, so. But I got Carl's number, and I don't know if Chuck has a home number or not, I've got his cell number.
Chuck, I have 802.
Oh, hang on.
And then I just want to verify too, that's for some of you that have his. Okay, let me know.
Sure. 802.
417
Mhm.
4977.
Okay.
Philip. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
802 353 0762.
Great.
Isaac, do me a favor, just double check that I didn't make a typo when I put that number in for the highway reserve. Just wanted, it should be 54500. Or minus 5.
Minus 54800.
Yeah, it should be 500, right?
Five should be
Like minus 5500.
54500,
Yeah.
not 548.
Yeah, I made a typo.
Okay, I already said that to
Send.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
So
In-
let me
Well-
change, I'll change that and resend
Or
it.
we can just keep it there, it's no big deal, $300. That's what I,
Right,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
and that would keep people out of that
Yeah,
sand
just-
class too, for
Just
safety
see some-
purposes as well.
No, let me change it
Sorry.
and then we'll send it out. No, that's fine.
Very
Good.
It's like, what, yeah, I was like looking at my numbers here and why they don't match, and I think because I made a typo.
So 54500. Do. Okay. And then.
Alright, so.
Thank
you.
We'll do that. So good, I'll move to adjourn.
Bye.
And 9:02, meeting is adjourned at 9:02 or 3.
2 and 3.
Okay. Okay.